The dates are set for Bill and Hillary Clinton to appear in person for depositions in the congressional investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and his sex trafficking. The former president will testify or do an interview on February 27th. The former Secretary of State on February 26th. Former President Clinton has denied any wrongdoing related to Epstein and has never been accused by law enforcement of any wrongdoing related to the case. Regardless, this is the latest fallout over the release of the Epstein files, which has wrapped up several prominent figures, even beyond the continent. It provides yet another glimpse into Epstein's wide-reaching network of the rich and powerful on a global scale. For instance, in the UK, British politician Peter Mandelson's ties to Epstein got him fired from his role as UK ambassador to the US. That was last September. This latest batch of files now forcing him today to leave the House of Lords.
The Clerk of the Parliament has today received notification from Lord Mandelson of his intention to retire from the House, effective from 4th February.
You may recall Ambassador Mandelson appeared to write a note in Epstein's 50th birthday book back in 2003, describing Epstein as his, quote, best pal. We should note it wasn't until 2005 that Palm Beach police first announced that they were investigating Epstein, leading to the solicitation of prostitution charges. And it was after that, in 2010, when Mandelson appeared to tip off Epstein that the European Union was planning a major bailout to save the euro. Mandelson now faces a criminal investigation over allegations that he leaked market-sensitive information to Epstein, according to Britain's national news agency PA Media. In Norway, the crown princess, Mette Marie, expressed regret and embarrassment over her numerous emails with Epstein after he had been arrested. She appeared to keep up a friendly relationship years after Epstein pleaded guilty to soliciting sex with a minor in 2008. In a 2012 email, she appears to call Epstein very charming, adding, quote, "Is it inappropriate for a mother to suggest two naked women carrying a surfboard for my 15-year-old son's wallpaper?" Unquote. In another conversation, Epstein tells the crown princess he's on a wife hunt. They chat about Paris and Scandinavia when Mette Marie responds, Paris is, quote, good for adultery and Scandis better wife material. Back in the U.S., scrutiny over New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch and his emails with Epstein, which are even worse than the ones I told you about. In 2013, 7 years after the police charges were made public and 5 years after Epstein pleaded guilty, he messaged Epstein asking about a woman he met at Epstein's house and wondered if she was a pro or a civilian. In another exchange, Epstein suggested he would have a present for Tisch, and days later, Epstein described a woman he introduced as a Tahitian, speaks mostly French, exotic. Tisch asked if she was a working girl. Epstein said never. In a statement to CNN, Tisch said, quote, we had a brief association where we exchanged emails about adult women, and in addition, we discussed movies, philanthropy, and investments. I did not take him up on any of his invitations and never went to his island. As we all know now, he was a terrible person and someone I deeply regret associating with. We should note, a lot of us knew that back then too, Mr. Tisch. Back then too. The NFL commissioner now forced to answer questions about Tisch, who used to own the New York Jets, and Epstein.
We are going to look at all the facts. We're going to look at the context of those. We're going to try to understand that. And we'll look at how that falls under the policy, and we'll determine whether we open an investigation or not based on those facts.
Then there's tech billionaire and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. His long relationship with Epstein is well documented in the Epstein files, which include multiple photos of Gates. The latest files reveal what looks to be draft messages from 2013 saved in Epstein's email account. It's unclear who wrote them, but they document feelings of betrayal aimed at Bill Gates, marital discord between Gates and his then-wife Melinda Gates. The idea of Bill Gates having concerns about a sexually transmitted disease soured business ventures. This, as Melinda Gates' 2022 interview with CBS News is resurfacing over her comments about her now ex-husband's relationship with Epstein.
I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, you know, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It's awful.
Those are just a handful of the very powerful people with whom Epstein was affiliated.